I'd like to greet everyone today with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be upon you. I'd like to say today is Monday, January the 18th, 2016, the time being 10:34 a.m. Central Time or Charleston, Missouri time. I'd like to say happy Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration. Let me keep it 100 because today is not actually Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, which is January the 15th, 1929. Some of our people is not aware of that. But I know most people across the nation that celebrates this day today, they not only just celebrate it once a year, but they put some type of action into Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. He been gone 48 years. Most places that you go to, they done at least gave him the respect of naming a street after him, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. But let me tell you about Charleston, Missouri. Here is what they call the Boot Heel. Here is one of the places that slavery was the last place that slavery ended. But anyway, what I want to do is tell you about the president of the NAACP here. I've been here this year in May would be 20 years, 2 decades. This president was born and raised here to the best of my knowledge. He been the president for 21 years here in Charleston, Missouri. And I'm wondering, do he have anybody on his staff that fights civil rights and injustice issues? I yet to see any. I done brought many to their table, but they refused or rejected my complaints and the complaints of many others. There are many people that done complained about the Charleston R1 school district. All type of civil rights violations with the school board, their resource police officer, Brenda Bedford, who's a police officer for the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. They done had complaints about the Mississippi County Courthouse, the 33rd Circuit here in Charleston, Missouri, with the way they handle things, from the clerks to the judges. If the shoe fit, wear it. They done had plenty issues with City Hall. Where is these people at? I'm going to tell you where they're at. They is working hand in hand with Jim Crow. Yeah, Jim Crow's still alive and well here in Charleston, Missouri, with some people. All us black people down here and all the white people down here, all of them is not with Jim Crow program. If it was, Jim Crow would have us back in slavery, and the NAACP president and his members that's falling behind his lead ain't rejecting his programs. And these preachers that joined the coalition, the unified coalition against violence in Charleston, Missouri on October the 29th, 2015, they would have us back into slavery, having them people watching over us, black people. Don't try to escape. They would definitely tell. But my point is, they done named a street that used to be Elm Street. They named it Cy Williams Drive or Street. And I looked it up, keep Googling up, and guess what the first thing pop up? Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center, 700 Cy Williams Drive. Then it's God's name. It don't tell me no history on Cy Williams. They say Cy Williams was a slave. I don't know if Cy Williams is a male or female. But let me tell you who had a part in having this street changed to Cy Williams. Lester Gillespie and Suzanne Wesley, Family Learning Center. They had Lester Gillespie fighting against other blacks. When I say fighting, not physical, then I ain't seen any physical, but having petitions to vote. You know, normally 9 out of 10 times, Lester Gillespie and Suzanne Wesley and all these sellout blacks, NAACP and all, they gonna win anything they want down here unless you get somebody from the outside. I showed you that when I couldn't get nobody to stand with me on December the 4th of 2015. When Lester Gillespie, Sherry Maxwell of Lincoln University, all these unified coalition against violent churches, Jim Crow, all these sellout blacks came up to that courtroom. I didn't have a lawyer. Jesus Christ was my lawyer. I had an empty seat right there. Jesus was sitting there seeing everything. My pastor told me all I got to do is just shut my mouth. God gonna handle it. He did. But my point is, why after 48 years, why ain't no street named after Dr. Martin Luther King? Like in every city that you just about go to, you have a Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. But that street, Cy Williams, just look at it, Google it up. It might be some history, I can't find it. I ain't found nobody else that can find it. But then they name a park after somebody here. At a place where they didn't want blacks to go once upon a time. Then they turn a park into a black man's name. Then they take some projects that have been shut down for over 20 years with roach infection, etc. Then they open them back up. People is having plumbing problems and everything else with them. They named it after a black person. I don't know the particular person, but I know his father, but may he rest in peace. But if they can name these things after other people, name something after Martin Luther King. If you're talking about you celebrating his birthday, you don't do nothing else during the year that he fought for. Anytime you won't fight against Ku Klux Klan activity on a job, anytime you won't fight racism in a school, Charleston R1 school district, anytime you won't fight racism in the Charleston Police Department, headed by Bobby Hearns and Anthony Mooney and all these other prejudiced whites that work there, not all, but all, you know who you is if the shoe fit wet. One black sergeant, he ain't no different than them. He might well put on a hood. He worse than the Klan. I'm just keeping it 100. There's only one black in there, and that's the clerk that I know that I can trust. And only about 2 or 3 white police that I can trust. The courthouse showed me how corrupt they is. I done asked for recordings of 3 hearings that I had. The first time I did the one with December the 4th, 2015, when I went up against Lester Gillespie Incorporated. And the clerk, I'm paying $25 for each one, and they get back blank twice. Then they finally give me the recording, which I put on YouTube. Then I asked for 2 other ones. One from June the 3rd, 2008, that I know they ain't gonna be able to come up with. But they sent me a paper back saying there was a hearing heard on June the 3rd, 2008. Raymond Ivey and his lawyer, I'm not going to say my lawyer's name, was present. A hearing was heard and the petitioner didn't show up, so it was thrown out. That's a lie. Wasn't no hearing heard because the only one was there was me and my attorney. The judge didn't show up, a court stenographer, the state's attorney, my ex-wife and my children, because Suzanne Wesley, the police department, Lester Gillespie, and these courts, they paid her way to Chicago when she's supposed to have been here with my children so we can fight that expo tape. That show you how crooked they is. They can't produce it. The clerk gonna tell me that is just something they put on there. You don't put no lie on paper saying a hearing was heard and it wasn't heard. Then I just asked for one when I had my divorce. August the 6th of 2008. Got it. All it was blank. Ain't that something? You see, now I had to take both of them two back to get a copy. But I'm just telling y'all to tell you this here. Today, January the 18th, 2016, go, I believe it's going to be at the C.F. Bowen Center, but go wherever the NAACP president here in Charleston, Missouri, and any of these other sellout blacks and prejudiced whites, if the shoe fit, wear it, gonna have a Martin Luther King Day birthday celebration. Go and see who they honoring. 21 years or 20 years I've been down here, they ain't honored nobody that's doing nothing down here. I wouldn't even accept anything from them. But they wouldn't honor nobody like me. They wouldn't even honor Martin Luther King if he was here. If they doing me the way they doing me, you can imagine what they'll do to Martin Luther King. They'll do like they did before in the South. Tell them to go back home. I ain't going nowhere. I was born and raised in Chicago, but this is my daddy and granddaddy's hometown. And I'm going to stay here until the God tell me different. But what my point is, this is 2016. It's time for new leaders, man. White and black. If you ain't with their program, it don't make no difference what color you are, what your nationality is. They put people in positions, let them clean their churches. You know who you is. They let you work at some of their centers, in the courthouses, the police department, in the schools, and you satisfied as long as it ain't your family. Let what happened to my daughter get your arm broke and don't nobody do nothing about it. Let a bus driver get your child and do what he did to mine and nobody don't do nothing about it. But see, one thing about it, y'all think I'm going to get violent. I ain't going to get violent. My YouTube videos and my voice hurt y'all. I'm a man. Let's get one of these streets. Let's get Vine Street here in Charleston, Missouri changed to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Let's get another one of these streets, Warren Street, where they done open up these old regular projects. Let's name it after Malcolm X, El-Haj Malik, Shabazz. I greet y'all with the universal greetings of peace and paradise, and the blessings of God be upon you. Stay focused, y'all. Charleston, Missouri ain't doing nothing on civil rights, man. Young brother got killed November the 8th, 2011 by a racist white police. The police is still on the force. His family members, school board members, working city hall management, mother police, school resource officer. There was no march at all. Y'all hear me? No federal investigation. Let them kill one of mine. It's going to be a federal investigation. I don't care how much money you try to offer me. Money ain't everything. You can get that money later. Take these people to court like I did less than them when they brought me to court. Get a just judge in here. Get the federal government in here. Get the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division in Washington, D.C. Don't go to Jefferson City. They got it sold up. Ain't no black leaders here. I'm a leader. But I'm independent of these people down here. I love my pastor because he's not a sellout. He's a real, true fighter. Peace be still.